Welcome to a new BLOC Talks. My name is Brenda Ortiz-Lark, founder of BLOC Peru, and in this special occasion we got Stephanie Hidrobo, founder of Art Will Save Us, based in Mexico and is a digital art platform promoting also Latin American artists. Hi Stephanie, how are you doing?
Hello Brenda, thank you. I'm very good. I'm enjoying a little bit the sun today and super happy to have another episode going.
Yes, and me too. I'm thrilled about today's female artist is Yayoi Kusama. And of course, who hasn't heard about this amazing artist? Well, she's a Japanese, but I think she's based in the States, in the US. And we'll check about the important facts and also the chosen ones, the chosen paintings that we're going to discuss in today's episode. So are you ready for this?
Welcome to the exclusive Blocker Talks for the YouTube community. Discover different female artists and agents in the worldwide art scene in an easygoing conversation with our guests.
So first thing that comes up to my mind when I say Yayoi, not even the last name, is dots, right? And pumpkins, maybe. So I think about bright colors. Those three are my top highlights. Does it happen the same with you, Stephanie?
Yes, of course. For me, it brings me joy actually, because I always think about installations, these big rooms where you can lose yourself and into it and kind of mix into the moment, into these polka dots. I really think that it's an amazing artist that you can identify everywhere, in any place that you can see any exhibit from her.
Definitely. And also how she was and is still a good referent in the female art, as a female art agent, no, and not necessarily and only in the art world, but also in the fashion world. And let's start with the first important and interesting fact is that she's used fashion as a statement way before her Louis Vuitton collaboration. So this woman, as you see her on the picture, you see her with her dresses, you see her with the style, the wigs, the use and the color combination of the wigs with the dresses, it all creates a statement. So in this case, of course, she sees dots everywhere. Of course, is part of her, not persona, not like the character that she has created, but in fact, it's a very interesting way and a starting point to create, and that's what we see, you know, and that's how we have seen within time with Louis Vuitton, and even with different and specific lines as purses, handbags, and even in clothing, no? So the first interesting fact is that she was way before considered a fashion icon, right before Louis Vuitton collaboration.
Yes, actually, I think in somehow you can see her Japanese heritage, because she wears these minimalist pieces, but also she puts the color on it, and she makes it her own style by putting the dots and all the colors, as you say.
Yes, yes, and it's very important and interesting also how she has keep it that way. So it's a constant, and again, is not created just for a specific time lapse, but it's herself, it's her lifestyle, is how she is as an authentic artist. Another interesting fact, second interesting fact, is that is said, that her depiction of tulips might be Dutch inspired. I have to be honest, I'm not that in love about flowers, so I'm more, and that's why I said about the highlights, the first three highlights, and it's about the dots and the pumpkins. But I don't know, do you have in mind like some art piece done by her or an installation about the tulips?
Not really, but what I can think of when I think of this fact is that she was living in New York, used to be a Dutch colony at some point, and I know there's a lot of information about it, and like you can look into books about Dutch stuff and all of that, and thinking that she was based in New York, maybe she kind of discovered that there by the early 60s. I may think about that, but yeah, I cannot think. Also in my mind, and also the thing that I love is the dots, so I cannot think of a specific installation.
It's very interesting how our minds, or how she has established in our top of mind, and talking this specifically about our marketing background, because when you talk about top of mind, is literally how you've worked through time and how you created a brand, no, and your say, or your stamp, no, on that, your brand on that, on the audience, no. So in this case, definitely dots. First of all, dots, pumpkins, and color. I think that's what Yayoi Kusama means, no, and of course a revolutionary, as a female artist.
Yeah, she was super interested, and I think one of the things that comes to me when we talk about how she was super into politics and all of that, even that she was from Japan, and she went to New York when she was like, I think 20 something, and she started this huge I'm gonna say campaign, or exploration about anti-war, and she became like a voice of that, and she made huge things and pieces in New York where she shows that she was super anti-war, and I think she still has that right now.
Yes. Also, how she was considered, because she was used to live. I don't know if currently she's still living in an asylum, but I think that she used to live for a very long time of her life in an asylum, and it's because her hallucinations, you know, started since she was a child. But considering this, and how she communicates, how she shows, how she shares, also, you know, from her inside out, from her inner self, that's how useful in this specific case art is to the person, to the artist. And I think it's a she was judged by that, no, for a long time, besides if she was a woman. But again, probably a lot of people might think that she was nuts, no, or is still nuts. But in fact, it's fascinating, and a lot of genius people, a lot of genius, really are different, are one of a kind, no. So it's very blind to tell and to consider and just simplify that someone is nuts because they can see more than what our eyes can see, no.
I think it's amazing how she turns that nightmares and hallucinations that she used to have when she was a child into this that we see right now. And it's like our pieces and work and a life doing this work, setting a specific style by her own. And you know, like she was hanging out with Andy Warhol, Donald Judd, and even though it's to think that she was a woman in the 60s in New York, and being a foreign, and also you know, someone judging her by her style and the way she was doing things and the way she was expressing, it's crazy. It's just another sign of, you know, another female artist being judged and being taken as crazy.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And it's because she had something to tell us, and not only from her um, hallucinations, but also about a political statement, no. So as you've mentioned before, Stephanie, she stands out and also with political work. So that's a very important statement. And also considering that she's currently right now 91 years old. So she's a woman that's still, I bet that she's still working. I know artists that are 96 years old and they're still creating. Is like breathing in, breathing out. Last breath, they will keep the brush on their hands, you know. It's like that. And it's fascinating. So let's check out some of our chosen ones, the chosen paintings. In the first example we got over here, Yayoi Kusama's, This is a painting called Infinity Nets. And long before the Infinity Rooms, there were the Infinity Nets, a series that, though far less Baroque in its form, drew on similar themes. When she first arrived in New York on 58 from Tokyo, she experienced commercial success. She brought with her around 2,000 works on paper. Many took the form of watercolors and ink drawings that made use of repeated patterns. Some even included the polka dots that would later become her signature motif.
It's really cool, because I read that, as usual, their parents didn't support her decision to become an artist. So she didn't have anything, any material to work. So she used to take whatever she had, like in her possibilities to do. She had a painting with mud and, like some cardboard she found and things like that. And I think we kind of see that in the Infinity Nets. She kind of expressed, like with everything that she had, and I think specifically if we see this as a as work that was before the Infinity Rooms, makes sense that she was starting this kind of creating her own style.
Yes, and I love because as you can see in this picture, you can feel like there's light coming from the center of it. It's like a luminescent almost. It's fascinating. I literally would love to see it like firsthand,
Yes, it actually feels like fabric somehow. You may feel that something from a scarf or something that was taken somehow, so you can see that movement, but no, it's not. It's a watercolor.
Yes, and it's a watercolor, exactly. So I love how she has created this kind of like dark halo, like it's the opposite way, but it's like a luminescent feeling. It's very interesting, and of course the use of colors, the contrast of colors. No, you can see the orangey tones, no, and more like brick colors. But then, and it's something that probably could you could see a shape of what maybe perhaps could be a pumpkin. You know me, I love to just like put the seed about the question in everything.
What do you think? Tell us in the comments, because that's an interesting point. I didn't see that until you.
Now the following artwork, you can see her all in red, no, and with her hands on the head, and in this installation with mirrors, it's completely disruptor. I bet that she was a complete disruptor back in the 65.
It's crazy just to see a woman standing, with her hands like, whoa, all of this just happened, and wearing red. I think it's an amazing statement, and creating this kind of effect that is, infinite, and yeah, I mean that the thing is that you can sense that it's all about her work there, and it's all about her because of the dots, the big ones, the small ones, the floor that you cannot see, and the mirrors, and it's pretty amazing.
In this case, Infinity Mirror Room, that's the name of this specific shot and this specific installation. She's wearing a red one-piece suit and stands before the camera, her arms behind her head and her eyes lifelessly staring into the distance. It's easy to read the picture as an artist's portrait and nothing more, but in fact, Kusama produced photographs like this one as something akin to the artworks themselves. And it's true because I bet that if she would have, I have no record about her doing or art directing a movie, but I bet that you gave that chance to her and it would have been like amazing.
Yes, I would love to see something that she will direct, because she was super into, I think, for sure that I know that she was a writer and a really good one, photography. She was also into poetry, and that's really interesting to see that, you know, she was so full of talent and inspiration that it would be amazing to see something directed from her, some art direction in a movie.
Totally, totally. I bet that there would be an entire scene that everyone would be wearing wigs, colorful wigs.
I come in. I would love to do that.
No, literally, I think that with Danny, with the curator from our platform, we were saying about putting disguise. You know, like I would be Dali, he would be Yayoi, and we were like fascinated. We would love to have a costume party with Yayoi's theme.
I think we can organize something for next Halloween because that would be amazing.
Yes, totally, totally. Now, the last and the final chosen one is Macaroni Pants, done on 68. Sorry, I have to laugh. Macaroni Pants, yes. And this explains kind of like a food obsession. What do you think about this piece that is hanging, Stephanie?
Yeah, it's crazy because I kind of think, you know, like a child dream maybe when you love macarons. It's like, oh my god, I wish I could wear them, something like that. And it's kind of as I mentioned before, that she was taking anything that she had just to create a piece and, you know, like to show what was in her head. And it's pretty amazing that you can see a pattern also here,
Mm-hmm.
that you kind of understand that she was creating this pattern.
Wow, and even on the hanger, have you seen those?
That's a pretty interesting touch.
But it seems that it has also not only not only mac and cheese, but it's like golden finish, no? And also this circle pasta would be, I don't know. It says that though seemingly light-hearted, the series' origin is dark. Kusama has said the works grew out of an image she conjured of all the food one eats during a lifetime passing by on a conveyor belt. For one work no longer extant, Kusama covered a mannequin with pasta. In a related photograph, she learns in to kiss it. I bet she did that. The meaning of these works is oblique. Selevansky, the curator of the MoMA show, has claimed they may even have alluded to eating disorders, but for Kusama, they were another expression of her obsessions. I'm going to quote Yayoi. I find myself being put into a uniform environment which is strangely mechanized and standardized. She once said. Soon enough, the artist literalized that with her 1966 work Kusama's Peep Show, which resembled a mirrored hexagonal space that could be seen only by starting into it through an aperture. When visitors looked in, all they saw was their own face duplicated many times over. Oh my God. Well, she was a genius. I'm going to say it again and again. She was a genius. She's still a genius. I'm not going. She's still a genius. Yes, and still creating mac and cheese. I see like a macaroni pants. That's so funny, and even the name, you know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when you think, can you imagine like being, you know, like the director of MoMA and it's like, you know, this piece is coming, and you know, like I understand that they had to take that perception, and maybe they think that this has something related with the food and all of that, because of, I'm trying to think at that the time in history, you know, where, you know, women used to be super skinny because of a fashion statement, and the role model of beauty used to be like that. But also I think I agree that maybe she was just playing with it, and it was like, no, I would love to wear this crazy thing because I just don't want to be put into a suit or whatever that you're giving to me. So
I mean, is pop art current? It belongs to the period of art, contemporary art, feminist art, also environmental art. But I think that it's Yayoi. There is no one else like Yayoi. You know, there is no comparison, because once you make and create that uniqueness, no, that will be recognizable within time. So you see a watercolor like that, or you see a pumpkin, with the dots, you right away comes to your mind Yayoi Kusama. And I gotta tell you something. That's completely. I think that it's one of the main steps in case if you're an artist to achieve. No, I'm not saying to you to create pumpkins with dots. No, I'm saying to create that statement that comes from your inside out that will create a recognizable, I call it a stamp, but it's like a recognizable motif, from your art. I don't know if you would like to add something else. I know that these are very short episodes, but we want to keep it like that way, promoting female agents, female artists, no, and us as the new generation, in the art scene.
I would love to hear which is everyone that is watching this video. Please tell us which one is your favorite piece, because I know she has an amazing amount of work, and I would love to read few of the answers, and maybe we can talk about this at some point later.
Yes, and also, in case if you want to suggest us a female artist that comes up to your mind, well, drop the comment and we can study more about that specific artist and bring it up into the next episode. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow also Art Will Save Us. Right below in the description, you'll find their website and their handle. So till next time, thank you very much. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you, Brenda. Bye bye.